Have you ever watched a video that starts like this?
This woman is in great danger.
This girl has the weirdest talent you have ever heard of.
She has an unusually huge head.
This woman has an amazing talent.
This man is incredible. This guy makes a living.
This technology. These girls.
This man, this woman, this baby, this dog, this shit. I'm sick of it. It has come to my attention that some people believe that my content is low quality. A while ago, I finished up a documentary about the history of computers and AI, and luckily it had a good reception. Thank you all for the support. But among all the support, there was one comment that caught my attention. A user claimed that all my 23-minute-long document was basically me with a paper mask in front of a non-functional green screen. What does that even mean? A green screen is not a machine. I do use it. But I respect the feedback. In fact, my whole goal from the start has always been to improve my content over time based on your feedback. And this specific comments gave me the idea to explore the history of shit content on this platform. Thanks for your comments. I appreciate that, buddy. Before we get into the flood of low-quality content on YouTube, let's take a moment to acknowledge a simple truth. Low-effort content is nothing new. It has existed in every major entertainment medium, long before the internet came around. TV, radio, and even print media have all had their fair share of content for the sake of content. Before trash TV, before reality shows, we had literal human oddities paraded around for cheap entertainment. YouTube didn't invent lazy content, it just gave it a better upload speed. Think about it. TV networks filled daytime slots with repetitive courtroom shows, scripted reality TV, and clip-based compilation programs, where the only real effort was splicing together footage someone else filmed. Even cartoons, once a gold mine of creativity, became thinly veiled toy commercials in the 80s and 90s, pumping out animation frames like a conveyor belt. In the 80s and 90s, cartoons weren't just shows, they were 30-minute-long commercials disguised as entertainment. He-Man wasn't fighting Skeletor for justice, he was fighting for toy sales. Transformers didn't roll out because they had a story to tell, it was because Hasbro had a warehouse to empty. So when YouTube came along, it wasn't long before history started repeating itself. But it wasn't always bad. In its infancy, YouTube was a wild west of creative experimentation. The barrier to entry was high. If you wanted to make content, you had to actually put in work. Early creators like Ryan Higa mastered scripted comedy, turning homemade sketches into viral hits. James Rolfe blended humor and nostalgia with actual effort in production, setting the stage for long-form gaming content. And Ray William Johnson, at one point the biggest YouTuber on the platform, curated viral content but did so with sharp edits and unique commentary. People weren't just throwing things onto YouTube for easy money because there was no easy money yet. The algorithm wasn't spoon-feeding content to millions, monetization was still a developing concept, and audience engagement actually mattered. For a brief, shining moment, YouTube was a land of genuine creativity. But then, people figured out that effort is exhausting, and that a webcam plus no editing equals money. That's when the floodgates opened and in came the first wave of digital sludge. Enter figures like Darkside Phil, a man whose gameplay videos often felt like he was being held at gunpoint to play games he despised. His unedited playthroughs were filled with sighs, complaints, and enough salt to season an entire McDonald's chain's supply of fries. Of course, he wasn't alone. There was Wings of Redemption, a man who could turn a Call of Duty match into an existential crisis in real time. The Irate Gamer, an AVGN clone so blatant that even his own pixels looked like they were rolling their eyes. And then there was Onision, proving that if you talk into a webcam about literally anything long enough, someone out there will mistake it for content. Each of these creators in their own way embraced the philosophy of why edit when you can upload everything, turning YouTube into a dumpster fire of endless, barely watchable content. Instead of crafting videos, they and many others opted for the spray and pray approach, flooding the platform with videos in hopes that the algorithm would take pity on them. It was the beginning of a shift, a move away from creativity and towards mass production, a trend that would only get worse over time. At this point, YouTube wasn't just a creative platform anymore, it was a factory. And the product being pumped out wasn't quality entertainment, but sheer volume. And just like fast food, it was cheap, addictive, and guaranteed to leave you feeling empty inside. So we've established that low-effort content has always existed. But in the early days of YouTube, at least most of it came from people who genuinely wanted to entertain. Then, as the platform grew, so did the realization that effort was optional and profit was inevitable if you played the game right. Why bother make your own content when you can just react to someone else's hard work? Early YouTube at least had creative, edited reaction content, but as time went on, so many realized that they didn't even need to add value. Enter Sniper Wolf, one of the biggest examples of this trend. At first, she built a name through gaming, but eventually the low-effort reaction format became her bread and butter. Picture this, someone else's TikTok or YouTube video plays, and she sits in a box in the corner, making faces and dropping one-liners. Sometimes she barely reacts at all, and yet the algorithm rewarded it. Why? Because it was endlessly watchable, easy to produce, and incredibly cheap to churn out in mass. And she wasn't alone. This became the default for thousands of channels, some even taking it a step further by reacting to other reaction videos. A black hole of recycled, empty content. Now, if you thought reaction content was lazy, wait until you hear about the YouTube Kids catastrophe. The platform's attempt to create a safe space for children was quickly hijacked by content farms exploiting the autoplay feature. YouTube's kid-friendly policies created a gold mine for content farms. At one point, an entire underground phenomenon emerged. ElsaGate, a disturbing wave of algorithm-driven videos disguised as kid-friendly content but filled with bizarre, unsettling, and sometimes outright disturbing themes. Spider-Man and Elsa drinking toilet water. Peppa Pig being tortured. These videos weren't made by humans with creative vision, but by SEO-driven content farms exploiting the autoplay feature. Alongside ElsaGate, you had the rise of finger family videos, autoplay spam, and mass-produced 3D animation garbage, turning YouTube Kids into a dystopian wasteland of flashing colors, brain-melting nursery rhymes, and dead-eyed characters dancing soullessly for ad revenue. I did a video on this before. And if there's one thing people love more than mindless content, it's drama. And some creators realized that they could capitalize on it without ever needing to make real content. Drama alert, Keemstar, and the rise of YouTube feuds. These turned internet beef into a business model. Creators started manufacturing fights, exaggerating controversies, and creating fake scandals, knowing that anger drives engagement. Whether real or stage, these feuds became an easy way to farm clicks without actually making anything meaningful. And the best part? It was self-sustaining. The more drama a creator engaged in, the more they were talked about. The more they were talked about, the more people watched their videos. It was an endless loop that only benefited the algorithm. So what do we have now? A platform that rewards mass production over creativity, favors controversy over quality, and allows endless recycling of content for easy cash. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, AI stepped in. You thought lazy human content was bad? Guess what? Machines looked at our garbage and said, we can make this worse. Once upon a time, YouTube was a platform for creativity. Now, it's a playground for AI bots that don't even pretend to try. Entire channels now consist of AI-generated script read by AI voices over AI-generated footage. It's like a content factory where no one even shows up for work. For an example, those AI fact channels that just throw up random Wikipedia trivia with voices so lifeless they make Ben Steen sound like a hype man. At this point, AI could generate an entire 24-hour history documentary with less effort than I put into deciding what to eat for lunch. Why start real drama when AI can just make it up? Deepfake tech has gotten so good we now have videos of Joe Rogan debating SpongeBob over the ethics of cryptocurrency. AI-generated voices have led to people believing in fake scandals, fake apologies, and even fake YouTubers. Let's just imagine a future, okay? Imagine an entire YouTube boxing match between two AI-generated influencers. Forget Jake Paul. Let's watch a deepfake Markiplier fight a hyper-realistic AI version of Mr. Beast in a VR Colosseum. Back in my day, like 10 years ago, YouTube was about personalities. Even the worst content had a human touch. Now, the most efficient way to grow is to remove yourself entirely. No face, no voice, no effort, just let AI do the talking. At this rate, we're heading for a future where AI makes videos for other AI to watch, and the algorithm is just a bunch of robots throwing content at each other in an endless loop. What if I'm AI? What if you're AI? Is this whole script just ChatGPT talking to another AI while humans are out touching grass? We may never know. Now, the real question is, why does this phenomenon exist? Why do so many people start content farms filled with lots of nothing? You might want to blame YouTube, the algorithm, or even the content creators. But the truth is, the algorithm doesn't create demand. It just serves what we're already eating up, and we eat a lot of garbage. For that, I'd like to introduce you to my little friend, Mr. Mirror. Oh, don't be shy. Go ahead, take a good look. Yep, that's the guy. That's the reason this content exists. It's us. It's always been us. We fuel this cycle, and we're all guilty of watching such bullshit. Because our little monkey brains crave constant dopamine. Because at the end of the day, the real content farm is the one inside our own heads. So if you're mad about all this garbage, well, maybe stop eating it. But let's be real. If you put the spoon down, someone else is already digging in. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so the algorithm can keep feeding you, hopefully something with substance. No promises though, you know how this place works.
Ba-doom, 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 ba-doom.